Right, so what we've got here is a hot tap which is struggling to turn off, keeps dripping. So basically these are normal washer taps, so we can just replace the washer in the hot tap insert in the cartridge, and yeah, should work as good as new. Clean it up, lubricate it up and everything at the same time, and get it back to how it's working, how it should work anyway. Right, I'll put this video right above the tap so you can see everything that I do, how the tap comes apart. First thing you need to do is to isolate the hot water, as we're working on the hot water side. On this one, that is done. There's a little isolation valve just in there. So I'm going to turn that off. Oh, it's off now. I've already turned it off, which means we're safe to start working. Right, so anyway, this thing comes off the top here, that unwinds, and that exposes a Phillips type screw, which we can just undo. There we go, just undo that, and then the top will pop off like that. Now this leaves you with a shroud here, which this one is actually quite loose anyway, so we just unwind that. Yeah, you can see the cartridge is yes, it's not in the best of conditions, but nevertheless we're going to try and clean it up first and put a new washer on it, and if it doesn't work then yeah, either new cartridges or new taps. So let's try and get it out, clean it up. Let me just get a spanner. Sometimes you need to support the tap, because what you don't want to do is start twisting the tap around, but anyway. This one's come off quite easily. We should be able to. Okay, yeah, so there we have the insert, and you can see this is the washer here. Now what would happen, this washer just gets hard over time and it doesn't go down onto the seating inside the tap, so the water keeps coming up through and will just cause it to drip constantly. So just by replacing this washer, we should yeah, it should just work as good as normal, because this actual mechanism seems to be twisting. There's a bit of muck around it, but we'll clean all that up. Right, so this will come apart. Another tip, put the plug in case any little bits fall off of the cartridge. You don't want them going down the plug hole. So this has got like a little, don't know if you can see that in there. It's got a little clip. I don't actually know what you call these clips, but anyway, it's a clip which you can prise out with a small screwdriver. There we go, it's just a little clip like that. Let's pop that in a safe place. Now what you can do now is just knock out the cartridge, just give it a tap here. And that just pops out the bottom like that, and it comes apart. Now this bit here, it works on a reverse thread, so normally when you'd be doing it up, you're actually undoing it, so we want to take that out completely. Just pop this to one side at the moment, along with this part. Now on here, there's a little Phillips screw there, so we need to try and get that out. Hopefully this will come out with a screwdriver. Yep, that turns. Put that screw in a safe place. Now that's out, this washer should just pop out. There we go, there's the old washer. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pop out to the van. I'm going to take this washer with me, match it up to the right size, and then we'll go about cleaning that cartridge up and putting it back together. Here's the old cartridge, the old washer, sorry. Let's get a bit of a look at that. There we go, that's the old one. Anyway, got the new one. So, new one, literally just push straight onto that one and put the screw back in, which I kept in a safe place. We've all done it. We've all forgotten to put the plug in, drop the little things straight down the sink. There we go. Don't over tighten that, don't pinch it right up. It's just got to hold the washer in place. Right, so now we've got that all done. We can now go about cleaning up the rest of this little mechanism here, the cartridge. Now I've just got a bit of cleaning strip here, which, you know, you use to clean in a copper pipe before you solder it. But you're never going to get these bang on because it's had years of lime scale all over it. But I'm just trying to get the worst off it, really. Yeah, prolong its life a little bit more. Right, the main thing is to make sure that the insides are all clean. And with this part, just clean off all the old stuff, all the old muck we can see comes up on there. Very gunk. Right, so that's now ready to be silicone greased, which I'll got here. There we go, some silicone sealant. Just get a little bit, always just around the mechanism, just smear a little bit around there. You don't need too much because when it goes into the thread, it's just going to push its way out anyway. Just put a bit around that. And it's reverse thread, remember, so you're actually going to screw it into it when you think you're unscrewing it on a normal thread. There we go, just get it moving so it's running free. Any loose stuff there, there's a rubber O-ring here, there's another one here as well, so I just put a little bit around those, help it go back into the body of the cartridge a bit easier. Okay, did I clean that out? No, I haven't cleaned that out yet. Let's give that a little, just a little bit. Just get rid of the worst of that muck in there. Doesn't hurt, just put a little bit around there. Okay, now this has got a, you see it's got a, like a nut. What is it? It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, it's a hexagon, so it's a hex nut. So that lines up because there's a hex in there as well. So make sure you get that lined up. See, it just pops, and then that should just push back in. There we go, that's pushed in. Just make sure it's all running. Right, so what we need to do is we need to pop that that little spring clip in, which is this little thing here. So I'm just going to clean that up because that came out with a load of muck and lime scale attached to it. So that goes back into here. Basically what this does is it stops the, you know, what we've just put back in, stops that dropping back out again, so it just pins it in place. Because when you're undoing this, you know, doing it up, turn the tap on, turn the tap off, it's yeah, you don't want that dropping out the other end. lose control of turning the tap on and off. There we go, that's in. So there it is back together. So now we're going to put that back into the main body of the tap. You can see actually around here there's a little bit of bits of lime scale and stuff, so I'm just going to have a go at getting that off. Any stuff you can remove, the better, especially lime scale in these hard water areas. Really troublesome for bathroom fittings. Ooh, don't drop it. Not an expensive sink anyway. This one could do with replacing really, but that's not for me to decide. Tap. Right, so this. Another thing always to do is be careful of is that there's no muck or the seating on the inside the tap has got any ridges on it or anything, because if it's broken at all, then that could be the reason why the washer doesn't meet. So just make sure it's nice and smooth in there, which this one feels like it is. So okay, so let's pop this back in. It's a normal thread, so as you look at it, clockwise does it up. Put that in finger tight to start with, then get the spanner. Remember to support this body of the tap because you don't want to be turning this. It doesn't have to be raunched up really tight, but just pinch it, that's good. And then the shroud can go back over. Again, that doesn't have to be done up with a spanner, just hand tight on that is good enough. And then this goes back on. You've got the screw inside it still. Just push that on. Screwdriver. There we go. Again, don't do it up too tight. It's only there to hold the tap head on, and then do this back up. Okay, just work it a little bit. See, that's running nice and freely. Now we're going to turn the tap on. It should be without a drip. Let's see what happens. Take the plug out. Alright, I've just turned the hot water back on the isolation valve underneath, so let's turn this back on now and see what happens. Here we go. That's all good. Turn that off. With a new washer tap, you don't need to be turning it right off tight. As long as it just pinches, that should be enough to turn it off. No drips. Perfect. Yeah, easy as that. Just make sure you've always got the water isolated and you got the plug in there so nothing drops down there. And as with all jobs, I like to leave it cleaner than I found it if possible, at the very least, as you found it. So just grab the wipe, have a good clean around, because there was a bit of muck that came out of this, you know, with the lime scale and stuff. You know, who doesn't like to come home after a tradesman's been there and find it's cleaner than what you left it? Super job.